October 2nd, 2002, 5:20 p.m. Wheaton, Maryland. The air is calm, the grocery store lot half full with evening shoppers. A man named James Martin, 55 years old, walks across the pavement with a bag of groceries tucked under his arm. Without warning, a shot cracks through the silence. He collapses next to his car. No shouting, no warning, no suspect in sight. Witnesses hear nothing but the echo of the fall. Police arrive within minutes, but there is no sign of a shooter, just a man dead in an ordinary parking lot. It is the beginning of a nightmare that will unravel over the next 3 weeks. October 3rd, 2002, 7:41 a.m. Rockville, Maryland. Morning commuters stop at gas stations. Coffee in hand, radios tuned to traffic. In less than 90 minutes, the sniper strikes again and again. James Buchanan, 39, shot while filling his cab. Premkumar Walekar, 54, gunned down at another station. Sarah Ramos, 34, executed as she sits on a bench outside a post office. At 9:58 a.m., Lori Lewis Rivera, just 25, is killed while vacuuming her car. By the end of the night, Pascal Cholot, 72, falls to a bullet while crossing a street in the nation's capital. 5 deaths in one day. The randomness terrifies investigators. Men, women, young, old. There is no thread connecting the victims. Only geography, only chance. Anyone, anywhere, could be next. That night, phones ring non-stop at the Montgomery County Police Department. Parents refuse to send their children to school. News anchors repeat the same words over and over: indiscriminate, random, senseless. Officers huddle around maps, drawing red dots across the region, but the pattern is nothing but chaos. October 4th, 2002, 2:30 p.m. Fredericksburg, Virginia. A mother, 43-year-old Caroline Sewell, is loading shopping bags into her van when a shot rips through her lower back. She drops, screaming. Miraculously, she survives. Forensics pull a single .223 shell casing from the scene, confirming suspicions. This is a high-powered rifle. The killer, or killers, is mobile, precise, and unafraid. The fear is instant and visceral. People bend low while pumping gas, scanning rooftops for shadows. Joggers abandon sidewalks. Teachers walk children indoors under armed guard. Gas stations hang tarps and bedsheets to shield customers from view. A mother whispers to a reporter, "I cover my son with my body while he gets on the bus. I don't know what else to do." October 5th, 2002, 11 a.m. Kensington, Maryland. Police hold another press conference. Officers urge calm, but their own voices shake. The media asks if this could be terrorism, if the D.C. suburbs are under siege by foreign attackers. The answer is evasive. Truthfully, investigators have nothing. No suspect, no car, no eyewitnesses. Just bodies and bullets. The killers are listening to every word. Hidden in plain sight, John Allen Muhammad and 17-year-old Lee Boyd Malvo sit inside a dark blue 1990 Chevy Caprice. It looks like a beat-up family car, blending in with traffic. But it has been carefully modified. The back seat ripped out, the trunk hollowed, a sniper slot drilled beneath the license plate. From there, a rifle can fire without anyone seeing the shooter. The car is not just a getaway, it's a weapon, a mobile execution chamber. Muhammad, a Gulf War veteran, knows precision. His young accomplice Malvo, barely out of boyhood, follows his every instruction like scripture. Muhammad calls himself the teacher, the father figure. Malvo is the student. Together, they watch the news, laughing at the panic they've unleashed. They are not just snipers, they are spectators in their own performance of terror. October 7th, 2002, 8:09 a.m. Bowie, Maryland. Iran Brown, just 13 years old, walks toward his middle school. Backpack slung over his shoulder, sneakers squeaking on the pavement. A shot rings out. He crumples to the ground, blood soaking his shirt. Teachers scream, rushing children back inside. Iran survives after emergency surgery, but the terror deepens. At the scene, investigators find something chilling. A tarot card, the death card, left near a tree. On it, scrawled in messy handwriting, "Call me God." The taunt electrifies the investigation. The FBI and ATF flood into Maryland and Virginia. Roadblocks sprout on highways. Helicopters sweep neighborhoods. Yet the shooters remain ghosts. October 8, 2002, 6:30 p.m. Washington, D.C. The sniper strikes again. A woman driving home from work hears a shot whistle through her window and shatter the glass. She survives, but the city now feels hunted. Every intersection, every gas station, every shopping mall seems like a trap. Every errand becomes a gamble. In the suburbs of D.C., daily life collapses into paranoia. At gas stations, people duck behind car doors while filling their tanks. Shoppers zigzag through parking lots to avoid being easy targets. Parents debate whether to send their children to school. "We are living in a war zone," one father tells a news crew. October 9th, 2002, 8:18 p.m. Manassas, Virginia. Dean Mayers, 53, stops for gas. A single shot takes his life. Less than 48 hours later, another man, Kenneth Bridges, is killed at a station while traveling for business. The killers are on the move, unpredictable, impossible to anticipate. By mid-October, fear is absolute. Police flood press conferences with promises, "We will find you. We will stop you." But the sniper answers only with silence and more blood. October 14th, 2002, 9:15 p.m. Fairfax, Virginia. A parking lot outside a Home Depot. Linda Franklin, 47, an FBI analyst, is unloading items from her car when a bullet finds its mark. This time, the victim is one of their own. Even federal agents are not safe. Behind the scenes, investigators argue over the profile. Many insist it must be a lone white male, hunting for sport, blending invisibly. They are wrong. The killers are already sitting in their Caprice, watching the panic unfold. Father and surrogate son sharing fast food in the car that has become both their weapon and their home. By now, the Washington, D.C. area is a city under siege. Schools cancel outdoor recess indefinitely. Businesses suffer. Neighbors eye strangers with suspicion. Even walking across a parking lot feels like tempting fate. Helicopters drum overhead at night, their spotlights sweeping through backyards. But the killers are just getting started. And soon, arrogance will drive them to leave behind more than just a card. They will begin communicating. Cryptic notes, strange demands, threats, and those breadcrumbs will lead investigators one step closer to unraveling their secret. October 15th, 2002, 9:30 a.m. Ashland, Virginia. The phone at a Ponderosa steakhouse rings. An employee answers, confused as a voice speaks on the other end. Later, investigators will confirm it was a call from the snipers. They want credit for a shooting in Montgomery, Alabama, weeks earlier. The message is clear. They are mobile, organized, and watching. Days later, another note surfaces. Left near a scene, it reads, "You have our demands. We want you to communicate with us. If you do not, we will continue." Scribbled across the page are chilling words, "Call me God." By now, the fear gripping the region is suffocating. Families avoid errands. Drivers crouch low behind steering wheels at gas stations. Schools cancel field trips and sports practices. Life in the nation's capital, home to monuments of freedom, has been reduced to ducking, hiding, surviving. And still, the killings don't stop. October 19th, 2002, 8 p.m. Ashland, Virginia. Jeffrey Hopper, 37, is walking with his wife in a steakhouse parking lot when a shot slams into his stomach. He collapses in her arms. A frantic call to 911 follows. Somehow, he survives. But nearby, detectives recover yet another message. This one contains demands for $10 million, delivered in a strangely formal, almost businesslike tone. The killers are growing bolder. They want recognition. They want to play with fear. Inside their battered Chevy Caprice, John Allen Muhammad and Lee Boyd Malvo watch the coverage like it's a scoreboard. Muhammad, 41, sees himself as a general orchestrating a war. Malvo, 17, sees him as a father figure, the only anchor in a life adrift. The bond is toxic, forged in manipulation. Malvo does what Muhammad says. Muhammad feeds him a steady diet of rage and purpose. October 22, 2002, 5:56 a.m. Silver Spring, Maryland. A bus driver named Conrad Johnson stands on the steps of his vehicle, readying for the morning rush. A single shot shatters the dawn. Johnson falls inside his bus, fatally wounded. His death, the 10th, comes after 3 weeks of carnage. By now, the nation is transfixed. But amid the chaos, a break comes. Investigators trace one of the snipers' calls back to a payphone in Richmond. For the first time, they have something solid. The shooters are talking and leaving trails. Then comes the key discovery. Ballistics from the D.C. shootings match an earlier case in Alabama, where 2 people were shot outside a liquor store. Witnesses there saw a blue Chevy Caprice, a vehicle now tied directly to John Allen Muhammad. The FBI begins combing records, piecing together sightings. Suddenly, the picture sharpens. October 24, 2002, 3:15 a.m. A quiet rest stop near Myersville, Maryland. Truckers parked in the lot notice something strange. A dark blue 1990 Chevy Caprice, license plate NDA 21Z. 2 men sleeping inside. Authorities had already circulated a nationwide alert for that exact vehicle. 1 trucker makes the call. Within minutes, the lot is swarming with tactical teams. Officers approach slowly, weapons drawn. The Caprice sits still in the dark. At 3:19 a.m., SWAT units converge. Muhammad and Malvo are dragged from the car without a fight. Inside the trunk, investigators find the sniper's nest, a Bushmaster .223 rifle, cartridges, maps, and evidence linking them to the shootings. The terror is over. After 21 days, 10 people are dead, 3 wounded, and a region has lived in lockdown. Now, the killers are unmasked. A 41-year-old man embittered by divorce and paranoia, and a 17-year-old boy pulled into his orbit. The trials that follow grip the nation. Muhammad, the mastermind, faces trial first in Virginia. Prosecutors call the killings calculated acts of terror, designed to paralyze an entire city. The jury agrees. On November 17, 2003, John Allen Muhammad is convicted of capital murder and terrorism charges. The sentence, death. Malvo's trial is different. Just a teenager at the time of the crimes, his defense argues he was manipulated, brainwashed, treated as a child soldier by Muhammad. But the prosecution counters with chilling drawings Malvo made in jail, sketches glorifying violence, calling the shootings a mission. The jury finds him guilty. On December 23, 2003, Malvo is sentenced to life without parole. The courtroom scenes are haunting. Family members of victims weep as verdicts are read. Survivors testify to the randomness of survival. One victim's sister says, "They turned our neighborhoods into hunting grounds. I will never forget that fear." For years, appeals flood the courts. Malvo's case in particular sparks debate. Should a 17-year-old be condemned to die in prison? Supreme Court rulings in 2012 and 2016 make life without parole for juveniles unconstitutional in many cases, opening the door for resentencing. Malvo's punishment shifts to life with the possibility of parole, though his fate remains locked in custody. Muhammad's end is final. On November 10, 2009, 9:11 p.m., at the Greensville Correctional Center in Virginia, he is strapped to a gurney. Victims' families watch through glass as a lethal injection flows into his veins. Within minutes, John Allen Muhammad is pronounced dead. But the terror he left behind never fully fades. 4 weeks in October 2002, the Washington D.C. region was transformed into a ghost town. People remember zigzagging across gas station lots, shielding children with their bodies, dreading the sound of a gunshot in the distance. That fear remains etched into memory. The DC sniper case is more than just a story of murder. It is a story about how terror can be manufactured out of everyday spaces. It is about the manipulation of a vulnerable teenager by a man who saw himself as God. And it is about how the law grapples with questions of age, culpability, and justice when evil doesn't act alone. Here at Crimes Uncoded, we're not just telling stories. We're breaking down the codes of law and power that govern them. The DC sniper case forced America to confront the vulnerability of daily life and the thin line between a father figure and a manipulator. Make sure to subscribe, because next up, we explore the perfect murder and the law that couldn't touch it.